You know, it's never really been fun to head to Colorado to play the Rockies, especially for the Cards. If you recall what happened last year, they got swept last July, but this was failure in epic proportions. July 6th, they had a 9-3 lead going into the ninth, but thanks to the quality pitching efforts by Denny Reyes and Ryan Franklin, they give up 9 runs and lose 12-9, the biggest choke job in Cardinals history. The next night, they blew both a 5-0 lead and a 7-4 lead and lost the game 8-7. And in the finale, the Rocks win 4-2, completing the 3-game sweep. Would the Cards suffer the same fate this year? Luckily, they didn't. And I'll talk all about it next. Cards take 2 out of 3 from the Rockies at Coors Field. That's right, they win too! Starting with Friday night, where they win 10-3. The biggest story here was Colby Rasmus. He had a huge night. He went 4 for 5, tripling and scoring twice with 3 RBIs. In fact, the Cards had a couple 3-run innings in the 6th and 7th that basically put this one out of reach. In fact, each of the starters, except the pitcher Jake Westbrook, had at least 1 hit. And speaking of Westbrook, he threw 5 innings, got into a little trouble early on, but ultimately allowed only 3 runs on 5 hits, striking out 4 to get his 5th win of the season. His only runs he gave up was an RBI single by Ty Wigginton, which scored Troy Tulowitzki, who would in turn score on a double by Chris Iannetta in the 2nd inning. And Eric Young scored on an RBI single by Carlos Gonzalez in the 3rd. But their starter, Ubaldo Jimenez, the guy who threw the no-hitter last year, couldn't quite get it done again this time, and his record of the year falls to 0-5. Miguel Batista, Brian Talent, Eduardo Sanchez, and Jason Mott finished it off. Each were perfect in the last 4 innings, and we're off to a great start for the weekend. Till we reach Saturday night, where they lost bad. 15-4 was the final. Is it just me? Or does Dan McLaughlin keep getting bigger and bigger each telecast? Well, the small portion of the United States got to see him on this one, as part of a rare Fox Saturday Night TV broadcast. And naturally, it was blacked out where I live once again. It's almost like I've got AT&T Uverse or something. On the bright side, if there was a game to miss, this was the one. We found out that Jaime Garcia was human after all. Boy, did he take a fall. Regardless of how much extra mud is on the baseballs, or how long they've been kept in the humidor, Coors Field in Denver will never be a pitcher's ballpark. Garcia, he only went 3 1/3 innings, and in that span, he gave up 11 runs, all of which were earned on 12 hits. They had a 6-run first inning with RBI singles by Gonzalez and Tulowitzki, a bases-loaded walk to Ryan Spilborghs, and a 2-run single to Chris Iannetta. Follow that with an Eric Young RBI single. We're toast. They came back strong again in the 4th. Todd Helton gets on because of an error by Garcia. Then, Spilborg clears the bases with the triple, and Iannetta homers to put the nail on the coffin for Garcia. These 11 runs would be the most of his young career, and his ERA jumps to 3.28. As for the Rockies, anyone out there hear of Chris Iannetta? He's their catcher. He had that game-winning homer last season in the 9-run meltdown. Tonight, he goes 4 for 5, homering twice, getting 6 RBIs. And moving on to yesterday, the Cardinals regrouped and pulled it out 4-3. The Cardinals got off to a fast start as John Jay hits a 2-run homer, along with an RBI single by Yadier Molina, scoring Lance Berkman, and we're up 3-0. While Colby Rasmus homered in the 4th in what would be the game winner. Kyle Loesch was strong too, going 6 innings, giving up 2 runs on 6 hits, striking out 6 for his team-leading 7th win. It might have been a worse outing, but he was pulled in favor of Eduardo, who starts out walking 9-etta, but then strikes out pinch hitter Jason Giambi. Wait, Jason Giambi? He's still playing? Then Eric Young lines out to Tyler Green, who in turn flips it to Ryan Theriot. And guess what? They actually pulled off a double play and were out of this inning. Fernando Salas comes in, gives up a run in the ninth to make it interesting, but gets out of it with his 9th save of the year, which gives the Cards a 6-3 mark on this road trip and improves their record to 32-22. And that's good enough for a 2.5 game lead on the surging Milwaukee Brewers. They head to Cincinnati for 3 against the Reds. All we can hope for in that series, lots of scoring, extra innings each night, and depleted bullpens on both sides. As for the Cards, they head home to start a 7-game homestand, starting with the defending world champion San Francisco Giants for 4 games. And as you may recall, the last time these two teams got together in San Francisco, the Giants took 2 out of 3. Cardinals should have swept it, but thanks to some pitchers or one pitcher in that matter, who shall remain nameless. Well, let's just say that it turned out a lot worse than we should have thought. As for the Giants, they're missing their catcher Buster Posey, who got mowed down last week by Florida Marlins Scott Cousins. While his injury and the collision are getting a lot of press lately, I have my question of the day. Should Major League Baseball change the rules to protect the catcher? Let me know what you guys think. Submit your answers, comments, questions, responses, or anything else in the comment box below. Subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Twitter. Hope all of you out there are enjoying this great weather this weekend. And while you're spending your holiday jumping into your favorite watering hole, stuffing your face with your famous barbecue, and washing it down with your favorite alcoholic refreshment. First, be careful out there. And second, take a moment to remember those men and women in the armed forces who made the ultimate sacrifice over the past 235 years, so we can enjoy all of our freedoms that we might take for granted. Till next time, happy Memorial Day, and go Cards!